lost a lot of free throws that would have won us the game. It's okay though. I love you, Caitlin, so much. I would die for you. I love you.
Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. We are back with another video, and I gotta be real with you, this one hurts. There are a lot of people to blame for this loss, and we can't just sweep it under the rug. For this one, we gotta go straight up to Indy and break it down. Let's get it. Let's go. So here's what happened. The game was tied up for a while, back and forth, both teams throwing punches. Then, all of a sudden, the Las Vegas Aces just put their foot on the gas and drove straight into the sunset. From that point on, the Indiana Fever could not find a way to keep up. And let's be honest, when you can't make a free throw to save your damn life, you're asking for trouble. Now, for everybody out there yelling that it was the refs, that it was some conspiracy, I want to show y'all something real quick. The Fever actually had more calls go their way than Vegas did. With about 30 seconds left in the fourth, the game was already decided, but the stat sheet told the story. Indiana had 21 free throw attempts, but they only hit 13 of them. That's 8 points just left sitting there, wasted. You can't do that in a playoff game. You just can't. Kelsey Mitchell, man, she couldn't buy a free throw tonight. And that's shocking because she's usually steady. But tonight, my goodness, it was rough to watch. And honestly, it got me questioning what Stephanie White is preaching in practice. Like, is there a free throw drill happening or not? Because this is basic basketball. You learn this in high school, bro. You're in the WNBA now, you're supposed to step up in these moments. From the field, Indiana was just as bad. They shot 25 for 72. That's barely over 34%. From three, even worse, they hit just 7 of 23. That's not going to cut it, not against a defending champion team like the Aces. And the crazy part? Indiana won the rebounding battle. They pulled down 39 boards to Vegas's 34. 16 of those were offensive rebounds, giving them extra chances, and they still couldn't capitalize. That's the definition of wasted opportunities. And that's why I'm pissed. It's rare, really rare, to see a team win the rebound war and still lose the game. But here we are. It wasn't about hustle, it was about execution. The Fever were in this game all the way through the third quarter. Then, in the fourth, it just completely unraveled. Now, let's clear this up, nobody can blame the refs tonight. I know a lot of people want to throw that out there, but the numbers don't lie. At one point, the Fever had already taken 20 free throws while the Aces had only taken 6. The only reason Vegas ended up with more trips late was because Indiana started fouling intentionally, playing hack-a-shack in the final minutes. So bottom line, this was not about the refs. This was about the Fever choking at the line, missing open shots, and failing to execute when it mattered most. A tough, ugly game, and it's one that's going to sting for a while. 84-72. That's the final score, and man, there's a lot to unpack here. Lexie Hull. Folks, she absolutely showed up tonight. Showed up big time for the Indiana Fever. Her defense? Locked in. She had 2 monster blocks, grabbed a double-double with 16 points and 10 rebounds, and she shot efficiently, 6 of 10 from the field. That's how you step up when your team needs you. But outside of Hull, man, the rest of the roster was rough. Kelsey Mitchell, yeah, she finished with 21 points, but it took her 26 shots to get there. That's not efficient, that's not leading your team, that's just jacking up shots until a few drop. She caught a little rhythm late, but overall, she was ice cold for most of the night. And then we gotta talk about Aaliyah Boston. Guys, this one's hard to say, but she was straight up bad. She's been in a slump for a while now. People keep hyping her up, celebrating her defense or her battles with Aja Wilson, but offensively, she has been terrible. Tonight, 5 of 16 from the floor, just 12 points. And I don't care how many rebounds you grab. If you're supposed to be the second best player on this team when Caitlin Clark isn't out there, you can't keep giving 8, 10, 12-point nights. That's not superstar production. That's not even all-star production. Odyssey Sims? 0 for 7. Played 18 minutes. But honestly, that was about 17 minutes too long. She gave you 2 points. Points. That's it. Natasha Howard, I don't even know what's going on there. She was brought in to be an offensive force, one of the big off-season moves. And yet, she's been invisible. Completely benign. At this point, she's not adding anything. This team is short-handed offensively, and the players they need to step up just aren't doing it. And the worst part? They lost by double digits in a game where A'ja Wilson was flat-out inefficient. She went 6 of 20 from the field. 6 of 20. You're supposed to win that game. You're supposed to take advantage when the MVP has an off night. Instead, Indiana laid down at home. You cannot lose to the Aces in Indiana under those circumstances. That's inexcusable. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Aces still had people step up. NaLyssa Smith. She cooked the fever again. 4 blocks, 16 points, 8 of 13 shooting. Jackie Young? She was lights out, 9 of 14, 25 points. That's what stars do. They show up when their MVP is struggling. Indiana? They didn't have that tonight. Outside of Lexie Hull's hustle, it was just ugly basketball. And that's why they got schooled, plain and simple. Ugly game, folks. Straight up ugly. Back-to-back stinkers, and I don't even know what else to say at this point. Tough basketball to watch. This team just isn't doing enough on either end, but especially on offense. Let me hit y'all with a stat that blows my mind. The Fever didn't score 20 points in 3 out of 4 quarters. That's right, 3 quarters under 20 points. As the kids say, that is nasty, diabolical work. Absolutely unacceptable for a professional team in the playoffs. And every time I bring this up, people wanna throw Stephanie White's defense in my face. But her defense. Defense is nice. But how about some offense, huh? How about some motor scooting offense to go with it? Because I continue to not be impressed by anything Stephanie White is doing on the offensive side of the ball. It is what it is. Next game. On Sunday. And it's simple, win or go home. Win or the season's over. This is a must-win, no excuses. And the pressure's about to get real heavy in Indy. And here's the part that really blows my mind. You let a side character like NaLyssa Smith, somebody you moved on from, come back and haunt you not once, but twice in this series. 2 straight playoff games where she's cooking you. Where is Stephanie White's so-called defense on her? I mean, where? I cannot even believe they're letting that happen. And let's keep it a buck. If Caitlin Clark was out there, Indiana would already have this series in the bag. That's the truth. Now, here's where I gotta get into my little bag, my little conspiracy mode. Y'all know me, I'm just putting the pieces together. But I'm starting to believe Stephanie White does not want Caitlin Clark back this season. Think about it. What's the one thing that changes if Caitlin comes back? The entire offense. Everything they're running right now would have to be adjusted for her. And I believe Stephanie White has gone to the front office and said, hey, we're winning without Caitlin. The system is working without her. If we bring her back, we'll have to change everything and we might start losing. That's the only explanation that makes sense to me right now. Because there is no way you hold back a generational player in a must-win playoff series unless somebody up top has convinced you that the team is better off without her. But here's the problem. Without Caitlin Clark, this team has no offense. Is zero. None. And if they don't figure it out by Sunday, the season is over. Get down in the comments, let me know your thoughts. Am I tripping? Or am I right about this whole thing with Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White? Keep those bells on, folks, because Sunday is gonna be do or die.
It's that close game late in the third, and then you guys really stalled on the offense. But what did you see that they were doing, or you guys were not doing well enough to keep up the scoring in stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we got a lot of good shots. Didn't make a lot of them. You know, we missed some opportunities at the free throw line, and then we got a little stagnant. You know, we were still in a good spot because we were getting stops until about middle of the fourth, and they went on that run. But look, I thought our energy was good. I thought our competitive spirit was good. At the end of the day, you know, you just look at the field goal mix and the free throw mix, and you know, it's a different ballgame. And you know, Vegas is who they are for a reason. But I felt good about where we were, and you know, we just got to make a little more shots.
Kelsey, what are they doing walling off the paint that is making it harder for you guys to get in there, and how can you guys adjust to either get to the basket or create better shots in that environment?
I have a big presence, obviously, with A'ja Wilson and Aaliyah Smith in there, so all about making the right read. Steve nashing the ball out. I'm trying to find the next one, but I definitely want to remain aggressive. Unfortunately, it didn't really fall my way shot-wise, but the goal is to always get there and create for others.
Steph, why do you think NaLyssa Smith has been able to have so much success these last couple of games?
She's been physical. You know, she's done a good job of really imposing her will, of being physical and in her matchup, attacking the paint, you know, being aggressive.
Steph, you made a reference pre-game to baseball about just hitting singles instead of hitting home runs. Did you feel like in this game that you guys did a good job of hitting singles?
I thought we had a lot of good opportunities. I felt like we had more open shots in this ball game than we did in the last one. I felt like our ball movement was better. Our ability to attack and make reads was better. We got to the free throw line. It was really good. They just didn't go in. So I did feel like we got a lot of really good opportunities. You know, we had some breakdowns at times defensively, but we went through stretches where we really gave ourselves a chance on the defensive end.
Steph, what were you proud of with the offensive rebounds, which was significant? But then on the other side, did it feel like maybe a missed opportunity with A'ja Wilson getting off to a slow start and not having as big of lead?
It did. You know, our offensive glass, they're not guarding, you know, like two people on the floor, so we can run free. I felt like we didn't have a sense of urgency once we got it. We've either got to go back up with it strong, or we got to get it out and we got to attack while they're in rotation. And I felt like at times we got it out and we just held it and we let them recover back. So I didn't feel like we had as much aggressiveness or sense of urgency once we got the extra possession. So that was definitely a missed opportunity. And look, Asia's going to find hers. There's no doubt about it. You know, they have 5 Olympians on their team, so you got to play them all honest. You know, at the end of the day, I felt like tonight was a lot more about our shot making.
Lexie, what are some of the difficulties that Young presents in terms of, some of you guys did a really good job defensively, as you said, on Asia, and then Jackie was able to, you know, to get her points.
Yeah, I mean, she's a strong guard. I think she does a really great job of using her screeners, using Asia, using NaLyssa, and we end up trailing on that. So that's going to be a big focus on me, on whoever's guarding her next game, is trying to blow those up so she doesn't get as easy of straight line drives to the basket.
Kelsey, what's the biggest thing you guys need to do to make sure, you know, a loss like this isn't too deflating, that you can come out ready to go for Sunday?
Our coach said it great for me. I needed to hear it. You can be emotional about it for the rest of the night. I know I'm always hard on myself, so it's gonna be pretty emotional for me. But after today, you turn the page and you look forward to tomorrow and stacking the day and getting the reps that you need to get to be successful on Sunday.
Lexie, you have drawn the most offensive foul in NW this year, including the playoff. How are you able to do that?
I'm just trying to defend as hard as I can, and there's only certain screens you're allowed to set, so just trying to trail them, and that's all I can really say.
Kelsey, look, there are a couple times where you're shaking your hand. Is it cramping? Is it something else going on with your hand? Or?
No, just missing. It's nothing. I mean, I think at that time, I think somebody hit my hand, but no, man, just bad day.
Just frustration, I guess, just expression of frustration when you're...
Nah, just a bad day.
Yeah. And then, Steph, it looked like there were a couple of occasions there where maybe you wanted the timeout to challenge a play. Is that how it unfolded, I guess? And just, did you get any communication from referees as to why you didn't get the timeout?
No, I mean, it's, you know, there's a time frame, and you're trying to look at multiple angles, and, you know, from what I'm told, out of bounds plays are the hardest ones to call. So, you know, it's you want to make sure that it's clear and conclusive if you're going to challenge it. There was one that I was really trying to challenge, and they gave it to him on the sideline. I did think that one of the officials saw, but you know, it's a timely thing, and sometimes you get it in on time, and sometimes you don't.
Steph, you went to Michaela Timpson as your first up today, and then very often throughout this game, what went into that shift in rotation?
Just physicality against NaLyssa Smith. You know, I like the physicality that she could bring. I like the activity that she could have around the rim. You know, they were going to Liz, and you know, Liz was burying our bigs, and so I just wanted to give a different look, and I thought her activity around the rim was really good.
Dana Evans, her kind of speed for them has changed things a little bit for you. I guess, how do you all account for her, but also realizing that you have to, I guess, give something up that makes sense, considering how many because of them?
We gotta play them honest. I think this group, like Coach said, this is an honest group that you gotta play. No matter who comes off the bench, you got Jewel come off the bench, you got Dana come off the bench. So you gotta play them all honest. I think her speed, does. I think for us, we can continue to do what we need to do, but I think it also puts emphasis on how, at the point of attack, how we need to be. And I don't think we have time to kind of wait for players like that to get active. If we can keep them at the game, that's obviously the goal. So going into Sunday, that got to be the mindset.